I'm about to show you how I get everything done with my shop Notion tour. You've been asking me for it, so here it is. Disclaimer, some of these templates are not mine. I've just finagled them to fit my own. Viewer discretion is advised. Roll the intro. Alright, so as with any screen share video, I will be looking here and there, here and there, here and there, here and there, here. You get it. So let's get into my Notion tour for my shop. This is where I house inventory, business ideas, keyword research, a bunch of other things that you will see shortly. And just like the disclaimer, I know it's usually for like true crime and viewer discretion is advised, but I thought it was funny. Before I go into my shop, the whole view of the shop Notion tour, I'm gonna take you to a quick walkthrough to the Today page, which is something that I've shown here a lot. And if you want me to do a deep dive on the Today page, then I will do that. But this is where kind of like everything feeds from all of my databases, because you know, if you know Notion, you can go heavy-handed with the amount of databases and have a to-do list on one page, have a to-do list on another database, have a to-do list on several different ones. So my purpose with the Today page is to get a sense and overview of everything that I have going on for that particular day. What's cool about it is that it actually does reset to today. So everything that's on this page is due today. So I'm going to start with kind of like the top, which is just my links. So every day when I go in here, when I plan my day, I like to do one thing from personal, business, financial, whatever. And then I have my quick links to jump back to different things. Now this is something over here, the day overview is something I'm trying. It is just like a little overview of your day. If you wanted to do something like this, you can do like your morning pages and write out your morning pages, but I tend to do that on my iPad because typing versus like writing, even though it's an iPad, I actually do handwrite on it, which sometimes I can't understand anything I wrote after, which is possibly the idea. So the last time I did this and I tried this out was August 30th, as you can see, and I just gave myself a quick like top 3 things to do that I need to work on. I didn't do the morning pages, and then I kind of deaded this idea, so I had it there just in case, but whatever. Then I have my morning routine checklist. So every morning, these are the things that I like to do to set my day. So I will click on the button. It will give me the morning to do. So I wake up at 6. I do a wake up affirmation. I put P in here because it's funny. Put the coffee and creamer on, light the candle, and as I go through the morning, I'll check these off, and it has an app for today because it's today's date. And once I'm done with that checklist, I just drag it over to archive. And then I have a separate weekend one because I do different things. I don't wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning on the weekend, so there's that. Then here's my currently reading, which pulls from my reading tracker database. This is my goal tracker, everything, all of my goals and their different categories and the percentage of how I'm doing with those. Then here's my focus for today. This is the part that I absolutely love because I have my today pretty much has all of my tasks from everywhere. And you'll see that as I go into the shop. If I have a specific goal and it has a task that's due today, then it will show up here. Content planner, the same thing. If I have something scheduled or something I need to work on, it'll go into content planner. Inside the brain is my second brain database. 100 things is that 100 things to do in 2024 list that I've talked about ad nauseum on this channel. And then any house updates. So for today, it looks like I have to pay a bill on the 100 things I have to buy myself flowers, which I'm not, because I got flowers for my birthday, which I wasn't expecting, and they're still thriving. They look absolutely beautiful. They smell delicious, so I don't need to buy myself flowers. So I can actually change this, and I'm probably going to do that and change it to next month. So I'll buy myself flowers October 18th. And that'll move out because again, it's not due today, so I don't see anything that's not due today. And then any house updates, and this I'm actually going to do tonight. Then I have bills due this week, as you saw from my Today page. These are the bills but this is the actual to do. So once I do this, it'll automatically delete. I haven't done that as of yet. I will do that after I record. This is my meal planning for the week instead of the day. So I just like to look at it every day. It was like, oh, I do not feel like making crispy. Actually, I did not make the crispy smashed potatoes because I was creating Taco Bell. Don't be judging me, girl. So I'm gonna move that on to Friday, which is today. I'm actually gonna make that today. Okay. Then I have everything down here under a toggle list that I can see that's coming up this week. So I don't want to really see it, but I kind of want to get a sense of what's coming up for me. Most of them are house stuff and bills, because of course. And then the ones in the red is that I haven't done them yet. Enjoy the lovely noises of Florida outside. So let's go to the shop. So from here, like I said, I have a link of everything that I need to jump back and forth through. So let's go to the shop, and this is what obviously you guys are here to see. So I bought a few different templates and kind of merged them all together. My biggest tip is that if you are not well versed in Notion, and even if you do have some experience, try to find people that are actually great at Notion. And I'm talking about great, fantastic, because that'll help you out. Yes, would you have to pay for it? Obviously. Sometimes are they expensive? Yeah, they can be. But this particular database that I bought, or template that I bought from Thomas Frank, like the Notion Master, is absolutely amazing. And I have it throughout almost every single database that you can think of. I have it, and I've been able to recreate it a few times over. For him, I believe it's called, I'm gonna put it in the links below if you want to go purchase it yourself as well. But it's a master task list, and it's amazing the things he's been able to do with it, as well as the tips he has for automating it. The automation part is absolutely my favorite. I'm not gonna get into that task manager. He has a whole video. I'm gonna link it down below so that you can see it in action. But you're gonna see bits of it throughout my Notion tour today. So I just put in the banner. This is exactly what my website looks like at the top. Obviously my website will have the image, you know, stretched out a little bit more, but it's essentially, I just took a screenshot of it and just put it up there just because. So here's where the magic happens, right? I did a 3-column divider. So I wanted to see all of my tasks in a calendar format, just so I can pop in here and be like, oh, okay, this is what I'm looking at for the month. So I have different views of the same kind of database, task database. So I have all the tasks here. Then I have another database, which is my content planner database here. Then I have any events that I have scheduled for that month. Honestly, it's a little bit bare because I haven't put everything that I need to put up here. In my content planning, if it's not scheduled in advance, I tend to do things off the cuff. Like I could be sitting here and an idea pops up and I take action on it. If it's gonna take me 5 to 10 minutes, I'm not gonna put it on a to-do list and then have to plan it. I'm not really planning those. What I tend to do is plan on the weekends. I plan on Sundays, and I'll plan out my social media content. Sometimes I honestly get like 2 things that I know that I have to post, or that I know that I have the idea for, and then I'll post it. Oftentimes it's literally I'm sitting at my desk and the idea comes to my head and I'm like, oh, that's a great idea for a video. Let me just go ahead and do that now. So I end up not putting it in the content planner. This content planning is from another creator. Her name is Taylor here on YouTube. I'll link her channel. I don't remember if she has the link up available for this purchase anymore, but it's been great. So I linked, that's another whole database in and of itself, but I've linked the content to this calendar because I want to see that as well. And then again, here's just the events, anything that I have coming up. This is linked to the task database as well. So those are my 3 calendars. Now on this left hand side, this is just kind of like the navigation, the main navigation. I just put in these cute little vintage inspired images. There's no rhyme or reason to this. You can delete them. I just wanted it to look a little bit pretty. So what I have here, this main gut of this database is from Fructus Illustrations. Fructus. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but again, I'll have her video and her link to her Notion database. Of course, again, I've added my own flair, my own things, my own databases to what she already had, and I'll kind of show you what those look like. So for example, the weekly planner was from her, the business notebook is from her, this inventory and launch is from another creator, another template that I had purchased. Then I have money is also from another template, but the business expenses is another template inside a template. It's crazy. This one is actually from Thomas Frank as well, and this is, I believe, free if I'm not mistaken, and I'll tell you and I'll show you just how it works for me. The research is a mix. It's a mix of things that I've created and some templates that I've purchased. The brand kit is from another template. Some of these things I don't really use. I don't really use the brand kit, but I left it there just in case. And then the blog is from Fructus as well. So again, it's just a mix of a bunch of templates that I've bought, and I've used them to the way I would use them, and that's what I suggest. You can get, some of them were very low cost, some of them were like $5 templates. Thomas Frank, because it's such a masterful, it's amazing. That's all I can say, because it's amazing. His was a little more pricey, but he constantly always has like a $50 off discount constantly. I think there's one running right now. Not sponsored by Thomas, but sure, I would love to. Anyway, so it's just a mix of different templates that I've bought, that I've kind of fixed, finagled, if you will, to how it would work best for me. So then I have current projects, which is part again of the Thomas Frank database. Products for content. So this is kind of like the things that I've done myself with the help of templates from Thomas Frank. So these actually come from inside the brain, which is why I wanted to show you some of those other databases, because then you'll have a bigger understanding of how I've been able to manage everything. I know this video is going to be super confusing. It's not a tutorial, it's just to show you what I use. So he has another one, and I believe this one is for free as well, and it's called the Second Brain, and I call it Inside My Brain. So inside my brain, I have a list of things that I'm reading or quick notes that I want to make, and if they don't get categorized, they appear here in this list. You can get a Gmail extension called @Notion. What you do is, if you're on a page, you're reading an article, you don't have time to read it, but you like to save the note, or if you just want the notes for anything else, you add this little Google Chrome extension called Notion Saver, and it'll save the page. Then you'll tell it, once you set it up, you'll tell it where to go. In this particular sense, it goes here to this note inbox. So for example, some of these are articles from a blog. This one's from the Every Girl, you'll see it here. This one's from the New York Times. And what it'll do, it'll extract the article and make it to like a more condensed version of it. It's still the same article, it's just a little more condensed. It's not a full web page. So for me, what I do is, once they go here, I add the area. If it's a business one, I'll obviously link it to business. If it's personal life, whatever, it depends on what it is. I would say 12 books to read now if you want to drastically improve your life. I would say that's definitely personal life or self-development, actually self-development. In order for it to show up on my products for content, so if I want to record again a video on a haul or unboxing or a reel, or want to talk about a certain topic, then I would want it to show up here. So products for content, and then this is the content I'm working on. So in order for it to show up on the products for content, I will need to change the area or resources to business, click on content worthy, and it'll show up here on this side. So this, as you saw, that one was called 12 books to read if you want to drastically improve your life, and it'll be here. Once I have it here, I can take the whole thing and drag it down to the content I'm working on, depending if it's YouTube, short form, newsletters, or I need to record it, whatever. So now I've removed it from there because that's not what it is. So that's where this section is coming from. Current projects are from, again, the same tasker. So if I go to the plan and I go to all the things, this is the major task manager from Thomas Frank, and then he has a section for all of your projects. So I've put all of my projects here. If any one of these projects are business related, they will come up here, and all I want to see is the projects I'm working on right now. I don't want to see projects for the future, projects that are on hold, projects that are not related to business. I just want to see projects I'm currently working on. And right now I just finished the full guide project, so now I'm working on raising money for the shop, which is another project, you know, that's ongoing. Anyway, so that's that side. I'll get down to the bottom in a minute. Then I have part of the template that I bought from Fructis is she has a week planner. So this would be the weekly planner she has. So it's listed like this. She has different buttons. So once you click on it, you add a new week. It's a if you don't know how to do buttons, I will have to show that in another video, because it's not hard, but it's not simple to give it to you in this video. So if it's September, I've already added the week of blah blah blah. So once I add it, it'll show up like this. So of course you have everything you need to do. It'll just say week of without the 9-1, and then you just write your to-do list items under every single day. So as you can see, this says record Notion Shoptober. This was actually Friday for today, so I just put it down there just in case I didn't have time today to do it, blah blah blah. Anyway, then she has the quick access to all the things that you need to get back to where you were. Quick notes, and all these images are not the ones she has. I just updated the template. Hers actually has her illustrations, which are very beautiful, but I don't want to share it in case, you know, she doesn't want me to show you. But again, I just removed all of her artwork and just used my own. So that's that. But what I did was, instead of having to, let's go back to the shop, right? So instead of having to constantly go to weekly planner, then scroll down and then go to my week, I just took the link of the week and I just went ahead and whatever week I'm working on, which is again now from 9/1 to 7, I just added over here by linking it. If you know how to link a page, just literally paste the URL and then I'll just say mention. I'll do that, and then I'll just drag it to wherever I need it. So I like to have my weekly ready available here on the right hand side. And then here I have the orders to fulfill. I have a new order, so I'm going to save this to my orders to process. So I'm going to click on the little extension, add the order, save it to the page, and it's gonna go to that, like I said, it's gonna go to that brain dump page. I wish I had a way to automate this, but I don't. Okay, so once we have added it to the note inbox, we're gonna grab it, we're gonna change the area obviously to business, and we're going to check on the order to fulfill section right here, order to fulfill. So then when we go back to my shop, it will have the current orders that I need to fulfill. Underneath the orders to fulfill is the ideas and notes. So these are all the ideas and notes from all the different pages and things that I've saved here on the note inbox. Again, if you remember, I said the note inbox is anything that doesn't have a category yet, so they'll just appear here. So I can read a bunch of things and click the note saver and it'll all be a whole list of things. Once I go in here and I change the area, then it'll go to its respective folder, and these are the areas and folders down here. This is a whole nother walkthrough on its own, so I'm not going to go into it. But if we click on business, any notes and anything that I have related to business will show up here. This is like the overview of everything, but in my shop I obviously only want business, so this is all the business stuff and notes that I have saved. So that's that. Now down here we get to the content I'm working on. So right now I'm obviously working on the Notion tour, yay! So this is the content planner from Taylor, and what I want to see here honestly is just YouTube, anything short form that I'm working on, the newsletter, which is the database from Fructis. If I know a topic, or if I only send out the newsletters once a month unless I got something going on and I want to talk about it, but usually once a month it'll be there, and I can plan my whole newsletters from here. So for example, this particular one, let's open it up. It just has the objectives, the sections, the socials, life updates, freebies, and then kind of if I've already written it or I have an idea, I'll just paste it in here. And then I will just check if it has a digital freebie in it, and so far. So that one was scheduled. That one was scheduled. I keep it here. I don't like have it filtered to disappear once it's scheduled, just so I can look back at it. And then here's anything that I have to record. So it doesn't matter if it's a reel, if it's a YouTube video, if it's a short, if it's a TikTok, anything that has the status as to record, I put them here. Because as we know, it's better to batch record things than just record one day and then record another day and then record another day. We try to combine them all, you know, you feel me? I like to do, because my reels are always like top views of me and the products is not really my face, I try to do those together, and then I tend to do a lot of my YouTube videos together as well. So anything that I had to record, I will go in here and be like, oh yeah, I gotta record that. Let me see if I can do a recording of all these 4 things today or something like that. So that's pretty much it. So down here, right under the products for content, it's just an area where I write stuff. It's not really anything exciting, and I use this space to write anything that's not permanent. So I can, you know, I wrote a little note for myself for this month, and I'm going to delete it after, so it's not something that's going to stay there. Then I have the entire overview of all of the business task related things here. I don't want to see this whole list all the time, so I just put them in a toggle list that I can quickly close, because you know, when you see too much information, it can get overwhelming. So that's that. So let me show you pieces of all the other databases that are included all here on the left hand side in the navigation thing. So under research, I have all of these different things. So I'm going to take you to the content planner first. This is again Taylor's content planner, which I've loved using. She has like different templates set up, but you can always change them. One of them that I've changed is the to record. She didn't have the status to record, but again, take something that's already made, that's, you know, worth it to you, and then you can always add and delete instead of starting completely from scratch. If you want to add it completely from scratch, that's up to you, but to me, I think it's easier to take something that someone has done so well and then just fix them to your own liking. She has different categories, so a go live, when you're going to sit down and edit and create those social media ideas, and then I just made a separate calendar for my history social media that's completely separate from my other social media. So that's that. And then here on the side, she does have the content brain dump, which is where I go in and I just dump a bunch of ideas, and then I'll give it a date and it'll show up on that database elsewhere. And this is the main page for her template, which is amazing. The one I use the most is obviously the content calendar, and then of course I have my shop already linked here. So if I'm sitting down to work for I don't go into Notion and then go find the planner. I just linked and have it bookmarked right up here, so it takes me directly there. Then I have another one that I want to show you, which is the business expenses. So this is from Thomas Frank again, and this is everything that I currently pay for my business. These are the active expenses, and then if I think I want to cancel something, it'll go here down here and maybe cancel. And then anything that I have canceled, it'll show up in canceled basically. So this is my inventory list. I manually come in here when I get new products. Now it was hard at first to get all of my merchandise because I had a bunch of it, but now as I do new collections, it's easy to just come in here, click on new, add the product. There is a cost to produce that I had hidden because I don't want you to see how much it costs me to make it, because that's my business, not yours. Okay, anyway, but I have my sell price, and what I do is as things sell, I'll update this. I do this about once a week depending on how many orders. Like this week I've gotten like 15 orders, so I need to come back in here and update the quantities that I have left. Sometimes Shopify is wonky. I've noticed it'll say that I have something in stock when I don't, or it'll say that I have, like, I think I put 15 on something, I sold like 4, and it still says 15, and I'm like, okay, there's something wrong there. I don't know if that's like a little hiccup on Shopify's, but I'm gonna speak to, I have to, you know, contact blah blah blah. Anyway, that's the behind the scenes BS that, you know, we don't like to talk about, but there it is. So I like to keep myself accountable and update this again once a week, once I know how many have been purchased and things like that, and just keep a running list. And I can also share, once I get an assistant, they can come in here and see the inventory as well. And once I add something, like if I make a new collection, and I'll do, which I should write right now with you guys, fall in New York City. And if I did the listing, then I'll add the listing. I'll check off the listing. If I haven't, then it'll be unchecked, so I can come in here and see anything that's unchecked and make sure I add it to the listing. Then I come in here into the actual product. I'll click on add details, which is again the template from this creator that did this, and it'll just tell me the product details. I can link to the manufacturer that I used. I can link color palettes. I can check off any of these. I wouldn't say I've ever used this, but it's there. It's there. If you create a launch, it says accounts or goals here, embed anything, PDFs, Google Docs, Google Maps, Spotify. I don't even remember how to use this, but I know it's there. I think it's if you have a new, this is your inventory. If you have a new launch, I don't, let's see, another section. I love my product ideas section. It's just, you can write any future products that you may have, kind of get them out of your head and brainstorm. But I also have this one. So I have quite a few. I have all of my Patreon ideas. It's just a regular page. There's nothing exciting there. And keyword tracker. This is mostly for SEO and Etsy. So some of these research items I don't really use, to be honest. I use my content calendar the most, because some of these are like stuff that I'm like, I don't really use that. So as you can see, sometimes you get a template and there's things that don't really work for your business or the way you work or the way you manage things. So you don't have to use every single portion of what they're, you know, what they have in their template. I leave them there because I don't want to be like later on, like, oh man, I shouldn't have deleted that portion. I could have used it now, so I just leave it. I do like this business notebook. I haven't used it as of yet. That is how I manage every single thing. So realistically, when I sit down to work, I click on my today page first. I'm like, oh, okay, let me see what I have to do today. Is usually defaulted to my today page, usually. Then once I'm here, I'm like, oh, okay, great. Now let me open up my shop and I'll have both of them. I can quickly see what I have to do today. But if I really want to work on that week, I can see it in this view. And I'll see, okay, look, I record Notion shop tour. And then of course I can go right back to the shop main page. I'll see if I have any current orders to fulfill. I ship out twice a week, so I work on orders and it'll tell you here. But what's cool about this template is that it is recurring. So this is one of the magic of Thomas Frank's Notion template, is this recurs every single week on Thursdays. So I don't really have one to show you, but this is, again, it occurs every week on Monday. But my next due, so once I check this off, my next due will automatically reoccur on September 16th. So you don't see it on the calendar now because I have to actually click on it, and then it'll show up on the 16th once it goes over that overnight update from Notion, which is amazing. It's top tier Thomas. Okay, yeah, basically that is my entire shop brain, if you will. If you want to see the today overview, the plan overview, which again is here, this is the links to all of my databases. So this is all of my task. Every single task from everywhere is here. Business, personal, all the things, in no categories at all. This is in calendar form, and then this is just list form, so I can see all the way up to forever until June 20th, 2026. I can see all of my tasks that I've dumped in here. Here is brain dumps. This is kind of an overwhelming page, so that's why I go in here to grab my links that I don't already have in my bookmark section. I'll pretty much look here, and I can see up here I have again my today page, any archives, past month archives, but then I have my overview of the month, every single task from my goal tracker, all the things. So I'm going to show you. So I go into the September overview. Here are all my tasks for September. Here are all my goals for September. They're actionable goals, by the way. They actually have an action to do list, which is what shows up here. And then here is the task broken down into categories. So these are all my business tasks. These are all my finance tasks, all my bills. They're called finances, but whatever. All of my home management tasks, all of my personal tasks. So this particular task database is the same one I've been using throughout all of the databases except the goals. That's a different one, but it's just broken down in this overview into different categories. Now if I were to look here, I'd see that I'd have, dang, you got a lot of stuff to do in September, girl. But most of it is recurring tasks. So again, like cleaning tasks, the home management, bills are recurring tasks. And then any business orders, a lot of them are recurring tasks as well. Yeah, so that's just an overview of the whole month. So I have different ways I view everything. So anyway, that is it, you guys. I know that was a lot to take in, but I wanted to show you how I manage my small shops, my small business, because I know we can get overwhelmed with all the things. Now again, I do write things. I keep this here because I work a 9 to 5, so when I'm working and I have an idea, I can't really switch to my personal computer while I'm working. So I'll jot down ideas. I can take this anywhere, things like that. I started off with doing a lot of things on my iPad, but to be honest, when it's really important things, I don't like to keep everything on, or I don't like to do everything on my iPad. I have a weird brain, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. I like to kind of have my entire brain in Notion, my quick notes on paper, and then my day-to-day things and creative ideas on the iPad. So I think that's how I work. What do you think? Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, if you want to see any of those other databases that I mentioned in full and a full walkthrough, you let me know, because I can't tell if you don't tell me. So on that note, I will see you again for another video, hopefully next Sunday. I haven't posted in a long time, but here's to making different choices. I'll talk to you next time. Every time someone chooses my small business, it just feels like they're choosing a piece of my heart. Your support is more than just an order. It's a step toward my dreams. Whether you're buying, liking, sharing, or just cheering me on from afar, you're helping me build something truly special. I pour my passion into everything I create, and knowing that it's reaching you means the world to me.